Starting fresh. I suppose this sort of overlaps with people that move to different countries, but I just want to cover some of the subjects because I know some people say, oh, well, people go to the Philippines because they're running away from something. A lot of people just go to the Philippines, full stop. I mean, when I went to the Philippines originally, it was just to meet April. I wasn't going from anything. Um, but I know sometimes people are going to a better time. You know, for example, if they're ex-Navy or whatever, and they had a good experience in the Philippines, end of World War Two, Korean War, Vietnam War, whatever. The point being is they remember the happier times, and it's not just about the Philippines. They were much younger then as well. So a lot of guys that say maybe divorced or whatever, of course they're going to go somewhere where they have a strong connection and memories. So, see, the thing for me, if it was around that sort of stuff, mine would have been Germany. Because that's where I spent my childhood, my teen years. I had some fantastic times in Germany. But I come over to the Philippines simply to meet April, my wife. But one of the things I want to bring up today, though, is moving country won't fix your problems. What you need to do is actually deal with them head on and get rid of them. I mean, what the book Eat That Frog sort of covers about dealing with the biggest problem first, which is why it's called Eat That Frog, because eating the frog is the worst problem. It could be a financial problem, it could be relatives, work related, whatever. But the point is, you need to deal with it head on and then move on. Because once you've eaten that frog, then obviously life gets easier because it's the worst one. So one of the things I will say is it won't fix your problems. It won't, moving country. But getting a fresh start and stuff can give you better opportunities in the sense of it may be a better environment. For example, if you come from a rough neighborhood or something, that you have something that is constantly drawing you in, then obviously moving city, moving country, moving whatever can have a lot of positive effects. But if you're moving somewhere like the Philippines where the job prospects are minimum, unless you can think on your feet, you may find it difficult. Moving to Spain, learning Spanish, it's not straightforward, but if you put the effort in, you can get there. But the point being is the opportunities are there. One of the things you need to do is focus on what exactly you want. For me, I want to be here all the time. So the point is, I'm doing about 2 hours a day of Spanish. I'm applying for work related to facilities. I've applied to a couple of hospitals, some of the larger buildings, because we haven't got many in this area, I've got to admit, because we're right on the coast. We don't have a lot of large facilities. It's not like in Barcelona, Madrid or something, where you've got a business district where they've got all these high rises, office blocks that need maintenance teams. Because I'm from facilities, I deal with large buildings. So I've got limited options here. I've got the airports, got hospitals, and not a lot else because we don't really have that many big factories or stuff in this area. But my options are quite simple. I want to be here full time. And do I have any issues or problems elsewhere? No, not since I ditched the family. Ditching the family was a good thing. They're bad news, and I've pretty much always been a drain. So that was probably my frog. My parents are gone, so quite simply, the rest of them can fend for themselves. It's not my problem anymore. But the thing is, you take that out of the equation. The only other two is find work and learn Spanish. And I'm doing about, like I said, 2 hours a day of Spanish, finding work in this area. If I wanted to go and do pot washing and stuff, I could probably find something this afternoon. But I'm looking for something that's in line with what I've done before. As well as I've had a lot of work come in to do work for people, because one of the things we have here is a lot of properties, because it's holiday home area. So there's lots of air conditioning, a lot of rewires, a lot of painting, decorating, dealing with holiday changeovers, all that sort of stuff. There's a huge amount of properties here. So one of the things I will say is, if you're wanting to just come out of an environment that's bad, have a think about it. Why do you want to come out? What is the problem? If it's people, then you may not need to move country. You may be better off just moving to another part of town or something else and just disconnecting yourself from those same people. If it's that you got to that point where life is just boring and mundane, that's one of the things I will say about the UK. That's one of the reasons when I went to the Philippines, it just felt so different. It felt like home, because the UK for me had become just grey. It was like, you go to work to pay the bills, you pay the bills, so you go to work. There was just a cycle. I don't know. It just becomes so uninteresting. See, in Germany, it was always busy. There was always stuff going on, and you had a good sense of community and stuff there. But I found in the UK, too many people were self-absorbed, and they have their own little bubbles, but at the same time, everything seemed to revolve around binge drinking on the Friday or Saturday night and stuff like that. I just couldn't be bothered. You get to a point where I'm no longer a teenager or in my early 20s. I want to do more. But yeah, I think people work too hard in the UK. Because it's consumerist reward rather than actually having anything communal, or I don't know. It's very weird. I just didn't like it. Let's put it that way. It got to that point where I was just bored. It was just like a hamster in a wheel. It doesn't matter when you get on or off. It's always exactly the same. But was I running away from it? No, I was just bored out of my mind. But at the same time, I hadn't been to the Philippines before, so going there was a case of I didn't know what to expect, and I wasn't really looking for something. But when I went there, that's when things changed. That's when it suddenly went from, like a power up. You suddenly see there is more to life again, and that's what sort of kick-started me again. And it's why now, 11 years in, still happily married, still enjoying life, been out to the Philippines, been out to the Middle East, been to living in Spain now, settling down here. And once we're settled here, we'll probably be doing a lot more traveling around Spain. This year I'm sort of locking myself into getting fluent in Spanish. Once I've got that sorted in this area, it's a license to print money a lot of the time. A lot of people speak English here. When it comes to doing all your legal paperwork and stuff, so many people are relying on people that speak Spanish and English. So there's a lot of stuff here I can do. But yeah, you've got to make that decision. What do you want in life? And like I said, even for me, it was when I went to the Philippines that it all sort of kick-started, because up to that point, I was just going through daily life. I was bored. It was mundane. I had a nice car, nice lifestyle, etc. But my God, I was bored. There was nothing that got me up in the morning beyond spending time with my daughter. I used to take her to school in the morning and all that sort of stuff. But day to day, beyond my daughter, there wasn't really a lot going on. Yeah. It's a bit strange looking back now, because you think, I wasted so much time on that. But today, I'm still as happily married with my wife as the day we met, or the day we got married, should I say. But at the same time, I'm living in an environment I'm happy with, living in a country that I'm happy with. Yeah. And the other thing is, unhooking yourself from that day-to-day grind, you start to see more. So when I look at here, I'm thinking I want to go and see the Alhambra again and actually spend some time there when it isn't raining. I want to go up to Barcelona, Madrid, Seville, Valencia, and travel around Spain, and then once done that, down to Portugal and up into France and do more in France and stuff. But it all started from actually just taking that initial trip over to the Philippines. And once you've done that, you start to see the bigger picture. And that's one of the things I will say. If you do find that the daily grind is just literally a grind, do something about it. Life's too short to sit and get stuck in a rut. There'll always be a reason not to do something. And too many people promote not to do something. Yeah. Unlock yourself. Thanks for watching.